So Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We're festive as fudge. And today we're going to be giving you a Christmas gift.
Yeah, Christmas miracle.
A sexy Christmas gift. So the topic is basically around why is it, not even why, we know why. I think we're trying to help break the barrier that there seems to be around talking about female pleasure.
Yes.
And talking about the fact that teenage girls, adolescent girls, touch themselves just as much as teenage boys. Well, maybe not quite as much. There hasn't been any studies done. I don't know how frantic either gender is. But in summary, I only know about myself because women don't talk about this.
Yes. Yeah.
But when I was about 11, was very, very turned on. All of a sudden, out of the blue. I may even have been younger. I may even have still been in primary school. And all of a sudden, I had lots of urges very often, and I didn't know what to do about them.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. All I knew is that certain things felt nice, and I would go along with that until one day I reached a resolution, and I thought, what was that?
Yeah.
And I remember walking down the stairs with this like euphoric glow, like, what happened? Was I just blessed by Jesus himself?
I can't remember the first time.
Really? It was just yesterday. The joy that it brought me, because it was like an itch that needed to be scratched for like a while before, because of course we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because no one sits down, and I understand, and I'm not saying that no one does, because maybe people do nowadays. But I was brought up in the 80s, and people didn't sit down and discuss it with you, and
not with girls.
No, not with girls. Boys, it was conversations,
probably.
And that it's like a bonded man experience, like father and son on a fishing trip.
Acknowledge that it's going on, you know.
Even in films and comedies and things, like, you know, American Pie and things like that. You know, he's humping a pie and he's got the sock and all that sort of thing. And it's funny that, the reason it's funny is it's so acceptable, but you wouldn't have a film around a girl that was just really horny all the time. Well, they're different films for that.
Yeah, and there was the girl, was it the band camp girl?
Oh, yes!
But wasn't she kind of frowned upon?
Yes, she was.
It?
She was a bit of a freak. She was a deviant. She was the different one. He was completely normal, just finding his way. She was like really, you know, wow. She's just like totally off the wall, mental, with her little flute, enjoying her life. Bless her. But yeah, so I actually think it's really interesting that we don't talk about it, and why don't we talk about it? And I get it, it's because it's embarrassing. I know we don't talk about it because it's embarrassing, but why is it embarrassing? That is what I'm looking in, what we're trying to uncover and make, and just have that chat, because I feel sorry for young girls, because I know that there still isn't that conversation that's like easily thrown about. And I don't want anyone to grow up feeling uncomfortable, like it's shameful, or they're like some kind of sexual deviant. Because if I'd have said at any point to anyone, like I am now, I'm just putting myself out there now, that at 11, 12, 13 years old, I was touching myself on a regular basis, like, it's like, and even if you're sitting there going, well, I did as well, but you're still going to go, oh my goodness, oh dear, I get like break into a little sweat, because it's not the norm. People don't admit that. People don't talk about that and say, I was quite a horny little teenager.
I remember having a conversation when I must have been about 19 with a group of close friends, and none of us would admit that we masturbated at all.
And it's like, that's normal.
But it's like, why can men do it and women can't?
Like, men are more free to have pleasure Whereas with women, it's like pleasure seems to come with a consequence. We have a lot more suffering as being women, you know, because we do have the menopause and we have periods and that kind of thing, which men don't have, and that's not their fault, you know, that's fine. But where's the bonus?
Yeah. Well, we can have multiple orgasms, can't we?
Yes, and this is the thing. But
we're not allowed to enjoy it.
But we're not allowed to. So
we'll talk about it.
And it's shameful. If you were lucky enough to be somebody that could pleasure yourself into multiple orgasms a day, I feel like there should be some kind of website honouring you. Like, congratulations, well done, and good for you. But we, as the non-alpha, it's like we need to be the pleasure machine for thank you for hunting for us and for impregnating us and all those good things that you're doing for us. So I'm here for you to please you. I get now it's like very much sex is for women as well. Of course it is. Of course it is. That goes without saying. And a lot more people are comfortable being like openly like a sexual woman and like, oh no, I like to have what I like. I know what I want. But still, that's as a woman. And I feel like there's a question mark of inappropriateness around the teenage age.
Yeah.
And it's because teenage girls come with a big warning sign over them that we need to protect them because they're vulnerable, and that's absolutely right. And we don't want them as parents to be too overtly sexual.
No.
Because that's scary.
Yep.
That's terrifying. But a boy, they can be as overtly sexual as they want. They can say, I'm going up to have a wank, Mum, I'll see you in a bit. And your mum goes, oh. But like a girl saying that would just be like, oh, absolutely, like that would be just horrendous. You would not want to hear that. You don't want to know about that. That's like, what is wrong with my daughter?
Yeah. I mean, I had sex talk from my mum after I'd actually had sex. My sister, because my sisters are like 10 years older than me, and I think my sister Claire, my eldest sister, was a bit more on that when, you know. But like, how would you approach that with Paige, say? Like, what? Because I've had, because Lola's of an age, I mean, she's 10, so she's aware of things, and I'm like, if you ever want to talk about anything, she's like, I'm not talking to you. And I was like, yeah, but you've got like, what about my sisters? Or my sister's got girls, and I was like, you can talk to your cousins. She's like, oh yeah, okay, maybe, like. And I was like, good, just talk to someone, because knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And all these things that are happening are completely natural and completely fine, but the more you know, the better you are equipped to deal with everything.
Yeah.
Because it's coming, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You can tell by how somebody is without them saying anything how relaxed and open they are about everything. Like, my mum and dad never said that it was okay or not okay. It was just a feeling that I got of comfort that I am allowed to do what I want to do in my own house, in my own room, and it's not a bad thing. I felt like it was a secret.
Yes.
And it was private and slightly shameful. But that was only because no one else said anything about it, so you always question. That's what I really would love to avoid. Is that I don't want anyone to feel like, am I doing something wrong? Like, is this okay? I wouldn't want that question mark. For me with Paige, and it's lucky that I am just the way I am, I would just say to her, darling, your body's your body. If at any point in the future you want to touch any bits of it, you crack on. Do it behind closed doors, but it's absolutely fine. Like, I've actually said that to her before. Like, I just say to her, like, your body's your body, you do what you want with it. She does what she wants with it. You do what you want with it. And she knows that. Which is why she's often pulling her bum cheeks apart in front of me and bending over and going, look, mummy. And thinking it's really funny.
It is quite funny.
And it is funny. But, you know, like, she's very free. But I think that the more, if you just put that into their mind, like, your body is your body, do whatever you want with it, then I think that says it all, doesn't it? That's like no holds barred. That's absolutely true. She can. She can do whatever she wants. I just wish that it was more equal. Because this is where, if people don't talk about what's uncomfortable to talk about, then nothing really changes. And I get that so many people would cringe at the thought of talking about like female stuff.
Yeah, but why is it like that? It's all to do with, there's a really good person that I follow on Instagram, and I do repost her quite a lot, but she talks about the culture of sexism and how women aren't supposed to enjoy sex. Do you know what I mean? Men are supposed to enjoy sex, but like slut shaming and everything, she nails it on the head all the time. I think it's Farida, D author, that's her tag, but I'll tag her. But yeah, it is just basically that women aren't supposed to enjoy sex.
Yeah.
But why?
What are we supposed to do then?
Yeah. Why can't we enjoy sex?
Most men love it when you do. They do.
Yeah.
They love it. It's win-win.
Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah. This is. It's so simple, isn't it? It's so simple, but I can guarantee that every woman sitting there watching it going, "Well, I actually quite like it. I quite like sex. I quite like orgasms.
It's free. It's great.
It is free,
well.
but it's See, but this is what I was saying to you earlier. It's actually for like a teenager. We seem to normalise having actual intercourse with someone else.
Yeah.
That's more normalised than pleasuring yourself as a girl.
Yeah.
Not as a boy. It's the same. It's like, having sex or doing what they want to do on their own is the same. But for a girl, it's like the only option is to sleep. But surely that's not the right message.
Yeah.
Surely that's like, wouldn't it be better to promote girls exploring their bodies and enjoying themselves, learning what they like, learning what they want to do, how it feels, what's comfortable for them, getting comfortable with their bodies? Because often I think men are like, they get all like disappointed because girls are insecure or they find it embarrassing. But we've been embarrassed for generations. We are not free in our own bodies because it's not okay to touch down there. It's dirty. Get your hands out from under the covers. Don't. And I wasn't brought up like that, but I know a lot of people were. And it's like, that's filthy, that's dirty, don't touch yourself. If a boy is scratching his balls, he's like, oh, he's a lad, isn't he? But if a girl's got her hand in her knickers, like, don't touch that. Get your hands out. That's smelly, it's horrible. And it's like really shocking. I know that there's something around the vulnerability of girls and like when things are a bit paedophile, I'm sorry to say it like that, but little boys are just as susceptible and vulnerable. It's just our minds and our beliefs about it. We see girls as vulnerable and pure. We don't see teenage boys as pure. We see them as little rascals finding their own feet, testosterone fueled, and he's been up in his bedroom for hours on end with a load of magazines. Ha ha ha. Mine's the same. Can you imagine that conversation? We've got teenage boys. Oh yeah, he's been up there all day, fucking photos of whoever. I mean, I know. And then me going, oh, she's been up there all day, and you'd be like, get your handbag. Okay, well, I'm just gonna go now. But we get the same urges, and I know that because it happened to me. And I know I'm not a deviant. I've got a very healthy attitude towards sex. I'm not somebody who needs it every 24/7. I'm not a nun. I have had a baby. I'm sorry, Mum. I will tell you not to watch this one. But it's because I know that I'm completely normal. And yet that was how I was when I was not even a teenager. I was 10 or 11 when that all started. I know that I'm not alone in that. I know that there's a lot of girls out there who have got these urges. And what are they going to do if they can't touch themselves? They're going to need to find a boyfriend who will touch them so that they can get that relief and that release and that pleasure that they're craving in their body. And so then what underage pregnancies are going to happen? Because you can't ask your mum when you're 15 for condoms, and you can't, God forbid, go and buy them in a shop or go on the pill. You've got no option. So it's really interesting, and I just think that the more it gets spoken about, the better. Because all the mums out there who want to be good mums and who have young girls, it's a really good idea for you to get to grips with how embarrassing. It's okay if you're embarrassed. We're brought up to be embarrassed. You're not wrong. Like, don't feel bad. You can't just be like, I've just watched an episode now, I'm just going to go and touch myself everywhere. It doesn't work like that. But to think to yourself, actually, they are right. I would much prefer my 14-year-old to be upstairs freely pleasuring herself all day long than going out and thinking, I need to scratch this itch with a teenager who'd be more than fucking willing.
Yeah, exactly. You want to delay that for as long as possible.
Yeah, and it's lovely because it's like, it's the most, there's no consequences to that pleasure.
Yeah.
And we just don't get that. In order to like have just free, completely safe pleasure, do it yourself. You know? And that everyone's entitled to that.
Yeah.
And everyone can.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And it doesn't matter what age you want to start doing that. Because why does it matter?
Yeah.
No one's going to know about it. You're not going to do a Facebook Live, you know? Maybe we should do that.
We've got 7 OnlyFans for that, darling. You want to make money out of that?
I already have. If you believe anything about me now, because I've told you that, then really look at where that belief came from.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she must be a slag, or she must be weird, or she's
What
just
is a
saying
slag,
it for
though?
effect.
Someone that enjoys sex.
You.
I wish.
Chance would be a fine thing.
Chance would be a fine thing. But it is. It's,
She's got terrible carpal tunnel. Yeah, no, I don't really know. I mean, it just used to be a fun word to call your friends, didn't it? You slag.
Yeah.
None of that ever means anything to me. Personally, I don't get bothered by stuff like that. I just think, what a silly, silly thing to say.
Yeah.
It just, I haven't even got any. Yeah, ridiculous. There's only shame in slut shaming if you allow there to be.
Yeah.
I challenge someone to slut shame me.
Yeah.
I would enjoy it.
Yes.
Because there is no shame, and if you're trying to put it on me, it's not going to happen. No justification needed either. You can't tell somebody that they are something if they know that they're not.
Yeah.
And this is what we need to empower our girls to believe.
Yes.
Is that they're, you know, I'm rubber and you are glue. It's going to bounce off me and stick to you, because there is nothing you can say that I am if I know that I'm not.
Yeah.
And the way that you get them to know that they're not is by normalising it in your own home.
Yeah.
And letting them know that their body is their body. You touch whatever bit feels good to you, darling. Do it upstairs, like it's a private thing that you do.
After you've done your homework.
After you've finished your homework and you've eaten your greens.
Yeah.
And enjoy your day.
Yes.
And that's the end of it. Oh, well, we're just going to say bye now, because we carried on for a little bit longer, but it had cut out. So we're going to just say Happy New Year, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And we'll see you in January 2022.
Yes.